Young Man Who Went Out in Search of Fear by the Brothers Grimm. There was once a young man on this earth, and his father was a blacksmith. Now this young man went out to the cemetery and other dreadful places, but he was never afraid. So his father said to him, "Just travel about the world for some time, and you'll soon get to know what fear is." The young man departed, and he happened to come upon a village during the night. And since all the houses were locked, he lay down beneath the gallows. When he noticed that someone was hanging there, he asked him, "Why are you hanging there?" "I am innocent," answered the man who was hanged. "The schoolmaster stole the little bell from the collection bag and said that I was the thief. If you'll help me to an honest burial, I'll give you the staff with which you can beat away ghosts." The schoolmaster hid the little bell under a stone in his cellar. When the young man heard this, he stood up and went straight to the schoolmaster's house in the village and knocked. The schoolmaster got up but refused to open the door because he was afraid. So the young man called out, "If you don't open up, I'll knock your door down." So the schoolmaster opened up, and the young man grabbed him in his nightgown just as he was, swung him over his back, and carried him to the judge's house. Then he shouted loudly, "Open up! I'm bringing you a thief." When the judge came out, the young man said, "Take down the poor sinner from the gallows. He's innocent. Hang this man in his place. He's the one who stole the little bell from the collection bag. It's lying in his cellar under a stone." The judge sent a servant to check the young man's story, and the little bell was discovered, so the schoolmaster was forced to confess to the theft. Consequently, the judge delivered his sentence. The innocent man was to be taken down from the gallows and buried in honor, and in his place the thief was to be hanged. The next night, when the innocent man was already resting in his Christian grave, the young blacksmith went to the cemetery. The ghost of the innocent man came and gave the staff that he had promised. "Now I shall go out into the world," said the blacksmith, "and search for fear." It so happened that he soon arrived in a city where there was a haunted castle that nobody ever dared enter. When the king heard that a man had come who was afraid of nothing, he sent for him and said, "If you set this haunted castle free of the magic spell, I'll make you so rich that you'll never have to worry about money for the rest of your life." "I'll gladly help you," the man answered. "You only have to show me the way to the castle." "I don't even have a key," said the king. "I don't need one," replied the young man. "I'll find a way to get in." The blacksmith was led to the castle, and when he came to the outer gate, he hit it with the staff, and immediately the gate sprung open. Behind it were the keys to the entire castle. So the young man unlocked the first inner door, and as soon as it was open, the ghosts came towards him. One had horns on its head, another spit fire, and they were all as black as coal. "They're really something else," the young man said. "They must be genuine charcoal burners. I could take them home to help my father take care of the fire." As they rushed towards him, he took his staff and walloped them 6 at a time. Then he grabbed the bunch of them and stuck them in a room where they were unable to move anymore. After this, he picked up the keys again and opened the second door. There was a coffin with a dead man inside. On the ground next to the coffin was a large black poodle with a glowing chain around its neck. The young man went up to the coffin, hit it with his staff, and said, "What are you doing in there, you old charcoal burner?" The dead man sat up and wanted to frighten him, but the blacksmith yelled, "Get out, right now!" When the dead man did not respond immediately, the blacksmith grabbed him and stuck him with the others. Then he returned to the coffin, took the glowing chain, wrapped it around himself, and yelled, "Away with you!" But the black dog resisted and spit out fire. "Well, if you can do that," said the young man, "then all the more reason to take you with me. You'll also help my father with the fire." But before he could turn around, the dog disappeared. It may well have been the devil. Now he still had a small key for the last door. As he opened it, 12 black ghosts with horns on their heads and fire coming from their mouths rushed at him. But he walloped them with his staff and dragged them outside, and threw them into a barrel which he sealed with a cover. "Now that I've quieted them down," he said contentedly, "I feel a bit warm, and I'd like a drink." So he went down to the cellar, tapped some wine from a barrel, and was in good spirits. In the meantime, the king said, "I'd like to know what's happened to him," and sent his father confessor to the haunted castle, for no one else dared to enter the place. When the father confessor, who was decrepit and hunchbacked, came to the gate and knocked, the young blacksmith opened up. However, as he caught sight of the misshapen figure in the black coat, he exclaimed, "There's one left over. What do you want, you old hunchback devil?" And he locked him up as well. Now the king waited one more day, and when the father confessor did not return, he sent a troop of soldiers with orders to break into the castle with force. The blacksmith said, "Some people are coming. I'll let them in." The soldiers asked him why he had locked up the king's father confessor. "What?" he responded. "How was I to know it was the father confessor? Why did he come here in a black coat?" "What should we tell the king?" said the soldiers. "Tell him to come here himself," the young man said. "I've cleaned out the castle." When the king heard this, he came full of joy and found great treasures consisting of precious stones, silver, and old wine. All of this was once again in his possession. Then he had a suit of gold made for the young blacksmith. "No," the young man said, "I don't want that. Only a fool would wear it," and he threw it away. "Anyway, I'm not going to leave this castle until the king helps me get to know fear. He must certainly know what it is." Then the king had a white linen coat made for him, with 4 gold pieces sewn inside as a reward for his efforts. But the young blacksmith said, "It's too heavy for me," and threw it away and put on an old coat. "Anyway, before I go home to my father, I must first get to know fear." Then he took his staff and went to the king, who led him to a cannon. The young blacksmith examined the cannon, walked around it, and asked what kind of thing it was. "Step aside just a little," answered the king. Then he ordered the cannon to be loaded and fired. When the cannon exploded with a powerful bang, the young blacksmith cried out, "That was fear! Now I know it!" And he went happily on his way home. The end. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And again, have a wonderful and happy 31 days of Halloween. I will be posting new videos every day throughout the entire month of October. Everyone, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.